Hi, welcome to another video. This is Mr. Chow. But this video is about the dangers of using unrestricted AI, and we're going to be discussing the potential pitfalls and then look at how we can deal with the situation. So first of all, you have to understand the critical flaws of AI. Now, this is by design, all right? So the first flaw is that AI tends to use superlatives. So it appears that they are pandering to the user, right? And there's a very good reason for them to do that. Now, the second flaw is that the AI tends to use open-ended questions to drive engagement. The third flaw is that it has no real sense of reality, and most AIs are programmed to be a helpful AI. So what does all that mean to the user? So let's take a look at the flaws one by one. So superlatives first. Now the AI, out of politeness by design, is likely to use superlatives to make the user feel good. So it's going to use language like, ultimate. This is the ultimate best move. This is the most important decision that you have made. This is the best observation, top, etc., etc., etc. All right. So this makes the user feel good about himself or herself, and notice that these superlatives are irrelevant to the contents of the chat. They are not really important, right? It's just to make the user feel good out of politeness. All right. So the result is that it creates a pandering effect. All right, adding some fluff to the response that is not really needed. Next, it uses open-ended questions. Now the AI is tied to its main source code. So in order to drive engagement, it tries to offer helpful prompts at the end to keep the conversation flowing. Now you can stop the prompts temporarily, but it will eventually default back to its main programming, right? There's no way you can override this. So the result is that you keep getting a list of open-ended questions, and that may or may not be what you want, right? The end result is that some users, if you're not careful, you may drift too far away, in the direction that is not intended, all right? So that's one of the dangers. Next, now the AI has no real sense of reality. An AI processes data, but there is a lag. Whatever is happening to you now, the AI has no idea. This can change if in the future, cameras acting as real-time data streams are installed everywhere, including in your house, then maybe that will change, right? But at the current moment, that's not happening, all right? So the result is that the AI conclusion is often not closely based on the reality, which may have shifted during the chat, right? For example, as of recording of this video, the US-Iran war is happening, and we're talking about geopolitical issues. And if you ask the AI to track, right, based on the trajectory, the direction of the war, right, with the public data that it has, the data will be, there's lag, and there's no way the AI can track for accuracy, right? Because it doesn't know what is happening in reality, right? It doesn't have cameras installed in the president's chamber or something like that. So the conclusion is very likely to be inaccurate or off, right? Off target, okay? Next, the AI is programmed to be helpful. Now this can be the most helpful feature, or it could be the most dangerous, depending on how you use it. The AI doesn't care about whether the user action is morally right or harmful. It is programmed to care about user engagement, and for it to do so, it will appear supportive no matter the prompt, all right? So the result is that the AI will provide the content that it thinks can help support the user, whether it's morally correct or not. So what does all that mean to the user? Now the AI becomes a potentially dangerous tool if users are not anchored internally, right? Which is most of my students, okay? They're not adults yet. Imagine a student asking, I need to hand in my homework tomorrow, right? an essay for me. What do you think the AI would do? The AI will provide the essay even though there's a moral hazard and the student could get into trouble for plagiarism, but the AI doesn't care. Alright? It's supposed to be helpful. Okay? So I'll give you more examples. Now, if the user mentions that he wants to do something stupid to his life, well, the AI has safeguards, fortunately. Right? It will recognize that the user is doing something dangerous and provide a helpline. Okay? But if the user says something like, I would like to design a set of wings to help jump off a flight of stairs, right? So this will throw the AI off, all right? So what the AI will do, it may warn of the potential dangers, but it will provide the design because it wants to be helpful and supportive, all right? It doesn't care if the user really jumps off the flight of stairs and then get injured or fractured his leg or whatever, right? The AI will provide the design of the wings. Okay, here are more examples, right? So if the user mentions that he or she hates school, guess what? The AI is likely to agree with the user and justify the resentment with even more reasons, hence reinforcing or creating the feedback loop. All right, so it's the AI's way of being supportive. All right, so from the AI point of view, but it's just behaving like it's supposed to. Okay, it doesn't realize the final result, the outcome. Okay, so what's the solution? All right, so we understand that if we use the AI incorrectly, there are dire consequences. So the first solution that comes to mind is, of course, government regulations. Now, for the longest time, a technology like social media is largely left alone with minimal regulations. Okay, so it can just evolve on its own. Now, but I argue that the AI is a completely different animal, right? It behaves in a way that is completely different from, or fundamentally different from social media, all right? So if left alone without strict regulations, the consequences can be rather dire, all right? But since I don't work for the government, I'll leave it to them to come out with the policies, all right? But in reality, we don't have to wait for the government to do things for us, right? We can deal with the situation on our own by installing a hard firewall. So here is what I recommend. For primary level students, I strongly recommend keeping AI away from them, right? Don't expose them to the AI at that age. No using of AI at that age at all, period. Okay, it can lead to really very bad consequences if you are not careful. Now, for secondary school and above, use of AI is permitted but must be under strict and heavy adult supervision. Alright, so meaning adults must act as an auditor and read all the AI checked conversations. Alright, otherwise, there's no way of monitoring what kind of discussions that happen between the user, the student, and the AI, and hence, if something bad is to happen, we don't even understand the why, right? Or why did it happen, right? So with that said, we've come to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in signing up for lessons, go to englishtuition.org. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.